Welcome back to Block TV. This is Trader's Take. We jump into the charts with our very own Joe Saz, the fortune teller and the fortune maker. Thank you, Joe, for joining us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right, we'll jump into the charts. Let's start off with Bitcoin. What's going on today?
Yeah, well, so it's been a little bit of a wild ride. Let's just jump into the charts. It's been I've been watching a little bit, haven't been trading too much. But yeah, look at some of this action, man. This has just been insane. A lot of volume on both of these moves on everything right now. So this is, remember, I've been mentioning a bit of a transition period, and I think we could be right smack dab in the middle of it. You can see a lot of volume in this upside move with some wick space, a lot of volume in this downside move with some good wick space as well. Near equivalent volume over here. A lot of wick space in both of these candles. I think the market's in a very, very, a strong confusion space. I don't really know like the best way to put this, but I think we're getting ready to transition out of a bearish mentality and think about any mentality that people have. Most people are slow to change, right? Most people are stubborn, slow to change. It's hard to change your ideals in pretty much anything. So it's like if we're shifting from a bearish based mentality where bears were overwhelmingly in control of the market, at least organic bears, or maybe even inorganic bears after a certain point, but where they were in control of the market and consistently just slamming the bulls in the face. Again, like at all those price points that we were watching and seeing all those gigantic red candles that were just massive in volume and cutting through all the support, and then just very slow, steady grinds back up, and then just a repetition of that same process over and over. I think we've now shifted from that being the norm to this indecisive, pump and dumpy feeling action where it's more just people buying and selling, and I think it's more kind of sucker selling and buying. Obviously, there's people making money, but I think we're getting to a point where it's probably suckers are selling and smart money's buying. And I just, I'm just going to revisit that question I asked a long time ago, and I think I'm going to give a pretty definitive answer right now. For the longest time, since April 2nd, and since I first started saying I don't believe this is an organic market space, maybe later April, early June, and the question I was asking was, can a manipulated market be sustained, especially if that manipulator leaves? Now, our manipulator hasn't left, but I do believe that the answer to that question is yes, that a manipulated market can be sustained and upheld even after the manipulator has left. Because they have to a certain degree. But that's kind of where my head is. I'm embracing the fact that this could be a bull run. All negative shit aside, we got to just like move forward, right? It doesn't matter what the external variables are. Those are now just kind of voices in the back of your head, and you kind of prepare for them ever so slightly. But I think we're getting like this indecisive market activity is really making me feel like it's time to get bullish, and I'm going to be the first one to hop on board. I'm not going to I'm not going to play. If it's time to get bullish, it's time. And trust me, I'm one of the first ones that'll be in line.
Take us to the promised land, Joe. Take us to the promised land. So are you saying now that when you speak about this manipulator, you're saying it in a singular. Do you believe it's a single entity that's manipulating the market?
Yeah, I definitely think Tether is like, the #1 bullseye red flag in the crypto space. It's for many reasons. It's a straight up central bank. It's a Federal Reserve. They can print as much money as they want. They have no auditing services. They have no oversight, and we know that they're not backed 1-to-1 to the U.S. dollar. So yeah, to me, this is a singular situation. I have so much evidence. It's just overwhelming at this point. So yeah, I like as far as the New York Attorney General's investigation revealing emails from John Carlo under the pseudonym Merlin, saying Bitcoin could tank below 1K if we don't act quickly, October 2018, combined with documents revealing that they lost in 19 outgoing wires of around about $2 million and account number 141000147, all seized, in addition to another $850 million. There's tons and tons of money that company was bleeding as a result of regulators, and I think that this was their way of getting their money back. So to me, it's a straight up yes. One person is responsible for, or one group or corporation, whatever you want to call it, an enemy in my eyes, printed money out of thin air, bought Bitcoin because people were willing to sell it. And then they, drove the market up into these crazy high prices. They probably sold, got their fiat back. They're resuming normal operations amidst an ongoing investigation. And that probably is going to take another 2 years to play out. Probably. I'm not a lawyer, but the way things are going, it's going to take forever.
So what do you see as, or what will it take to really get, Tether's, according to you, Tether's tentacles off of the Bitcoin market and free it to the free market system?
Well, there was this one really important thing that I was talking and Socrates and we were talking about the other day, that this is a small isolated community. And one of the things that I did recently was talk a lot of shit about a piece of shit. His name is Ben Zen. And one of the reasons why is because this is such a small community that we need to police ourselves. They're like, regulators still have no fucking clue what Bitcoin is half the time. So, and altcoins especially. So we need to, like the good people in this community do need to speak up, and, especially the ones with facts. And, so that's a big part of it. What would stop something like this? I think community policing would probably be step one, but that was completely avoided because no one cared. Price goes up, people just, throw their hands in the air and ride the roller coaster up, So I think that was kind of taken out of the picture, was the self-governance, the community governance, right? But the second step would be regulators. And, again, I'm not one that screams for regulator help, but I mean, they're probably the only ones that are going to, be able to stop them through legal measures. Because, like, if say everyone was to agree to stop using Tether, would it change much? I don't know. That's kind of one of those things. It's like, will Ethereum's proof of stake work? I don't know. We got to see it in action, right? So there's a number of things like that,
Right.
But yeah,
Well,
I'm going to say that regulators.
Yeah, I see that. Listen, you're fighting the good fight now. Now, speaking of Ethereum and whether it will work, let's take a jump at the charts. Look at Ethereum. Let's see how their market's doing.
Yeah, sure. I did wake up on the right side of the bed. If I'm sounding a little combative already, I apologize there. But moving through Bitcoin, daily's looking okay. Bounce off the 50 MA. This is actually not looking bad. Ethereum is right here. Let me just switch this over. ETHUSD, and let's check out the numbers as reported by Coinbase, which is an exchange I of course do not like, but I trust their numbers. All right, so we haven't left this channel yet. We're still, all right, these moving averages are getting closer to one another. The 50 is starting to curl up, as you can see this, if I move this white line a little bit, you can see that the trajectory is starting to move up a bit on the short-term moving average, the 50. The 125, the intermediate term moving average, is still cutting down pretty sharp. Long-term moving average is pretty far away, $214 or $30 away. I think I just right now we're channeling, and I've never been so neutral before across the board. Normally I'm just like bearish or bull, and I don't really know if you see me very bullish, but we're just channeling. We popped off the top, we popped off the bottom, and I'm not like over here. We did see some support in the 50 moving average, but this channel is just a straight up channel, and like I think I would say that if I'm bullish Bitcoin, then that probably means by default I'm bullish on probably the top 5 to 10 alts. But for now, I'd say this channel is going to be important. We're about a week away, maybe 5 days or so away from this moving average cutting into the channel, not just cutting into the channel, but also us meeting it if we were to go sideways. So I think this is going to be an important, 5-day call for Ethereum. I could see this thing breaking in both directions easily. Yeah, it's very tough to call. So I'm neutral Ethereum, but if we can cut above that intermediate term moving average, I'll get bullish, especially if we can cut above it and break out of the this channel to the upside.
Well, for now, you're neutral on Ethereum. Let's check out Litecoin. What is it? What are your take on Litecoin right now?
Yeah, let's take a look at the technical picture, and of course, I think Litecoin. I know we had the hash decline something around 60%. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, this is on the daily. All right, I'm just gonna open this up and do a channel, and just do the same thing that we had over here with Ethereum. This is actually looking so similar to Ethereum. We have a cut back up in the 50. This is obviously a pretty sloppy channel. We had to cut back up on this 50-day moving average, and the 125, the intermediate term, is moving down. Now the span is much tighter, right, in Ethereum, but man, this is tough. I'm assuming that we're probably going to head back to the bottom end of this channel in probably both scenarios, because we're sitting right in the middle of it after peaking out. So I'd assume for us to come with Litecoin back down to the high 50s, where we will meet support with both the channel and the 50-day moving average, which is now starting to ascend. And I think this one probably has a better chance at creating some upside distance to the on the top side of this channel before seeing a real fight with the 125. And so I think we're probably, the entire market space too. I wanted to say I really feel like it's happening soon. Whatever big move that we have that's been bubbling, like I feel like it's, I think days ago I said it's days from now, so it's like I'm pretty much getting to that point where it might be sleepless nights again, because I really got that sensation that something is going to pop in this market, and I think it's probably going to be a confirmation of a bull run, more likely than some sort of correction from that $3,000 pump that we had weeks ago. So I'm really getting. I think it's a tense time in the market, and I think a lot of people would agree with me that something big is about to happen soon. I'm leaning bullish on that one, and I'm ready to put my eggs in that basket. But for now, I'm just I'm in pure observation, maybe small trades, playing with tiny money. Again, just keep your skills sharp. But then when the time comes, like, do not be sleeping when this thing happens.
So the fortune teller is feeling something big is coming on. What does the fortune maker have to say, though, about XRP? Is there a big ripple coming?
Well, let's see. Let's see if they have a what's it called? I can't think of the word right now. But yeah. So last time I looked, we were, a couple days ago, we were probably around here. We're now trading below the 50-day moving average. We're on the, nearing a bullish crossover, which is actually probably the only altcoin that we've been looking at for the past maybe year that's nearing a bullish crossover in the short and intermediate moving averages. So I just think right now, XRP, this is getting funky. This could be a very bullish signal right now. But again, it's been counter trending so much, with a descending triangle breakout. Now this descending triangle obviously could be drawn a little more neatly. If I was to cover some wick space and bodies, I'd probably do something like this. This was an old channel. Now we broke out violently, by the way, 9 followed by, so near 20% move between a couple days plus some wick space. 2-day move that pushed us way the heck up, followed by the steps back down, and that was definitely a violent breakdown. Steps back up, some crazy volatile action in between, but then in the ascending triangle, and this isn't the prettiest ascending triangle, by the way, either. I mean, this I have to use a little bit of imagination, and I hate using imagination when drawing stuff. Okay, so I just don't like using my imagination when charting, but sometimes you have to. Now I see this as an ascending triangle. Some might see it as something else, but again, we counter trend, we broke down, and I think that this thing can still have some wind in its sails. I've still been, I'll stand by. I think that we need to revisit this wick space in the low 20-cent range in XRP at some point before really kicking off any. I don't really see a bull run happening with XRP. I just there are absolutely no circumstances where I see organic demand really throwing this thing back to whatever obscene numbers people are XRP fanatics are throwing out, $400 XRP and all this garbage. Again, it's just not really that useful. It's no more efficient than Zelle, or a number of other money services in the United States and maybe elsewhere. So not convinced of anything yet with the asset internally. As far as technically speaking, I would say we're now still counter trending. We've broken down from that ascending triangle. And I think we're going to visit probably, like, I really think that it's possible that we hit 20 cents or just above it before any sort of confirmation of continued further downside action or reversal.
It's kind of funny. When we started looking at that XRP chart, you actually were sounding a little bit bullish, and I was like, wait, is something wrong with Joe? Why? He's sounding very bullish in XRP here. But luckily, don't worry, people, it's all good. You came right back around, and you made sure that our fears were laid to rest there. Well, Joe, thank you as always for jumping in the charts, giving us your take on Bitcoin and all the other altcoins. And for all of us here at BLOCKTV, make sure to stay tuned for more at blocktv.com. I'm Yona Hockhauser. Thanks for watching.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter.